welcome guys to a new video, and today we are going to install the Wi-Fi version of my firmware, including the instructions how to set up the Wi-Fi and how to use the ESP Web 3D UI. And just to the beginning, this setup works to all Marlin firmwares that have included a coding of an enabled Wi-Fi with the exact baud rate. And yeah, I'm here to start and to show it to you. As you see, my camera is pointed to the printer, just running the stock firmware for now. And the first thing before we can start is you have to download two files. One is the mks-wifi.bin and the ESP 3D Web UI version 2.1. You will find the links to download it in my description of the video, including a step-by-step guide how to install everything. But for now, I'm going to start flashing my latest Marlin firmware. It's Marlin 2.12, including Wi-Fi, input shaping, linear advance, much more features. And a small little funny feature that's really useful in my case is the nozzle clean feature before each print. Because I know everyone knows when someone starts a print, sometimes the filament oozes out of the nozzle and it's pretty annoying, so you can rid of it. You will see in my next videos or YouTube posts or Facebook posts about this. And when you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments or just contact me on Facebook. I will include my Facebook site also on the video description. Okay, but now let's go. I'm copying now my latest firmware to my SD card and I unplug it from the computer. Plug it inside the printer and reboot the printer. As you see now, it's flashing to my latest firmware. And yeah, first things first, before you can start, you should know that you should have used a computer for the setup with the Wi-Fi, and your computer needs to have a Wi-Fi connection, but you have to disable all connections to your local area network or to your recent stationary Wi-Fi network, and so every connection is closed now and you have no connection running. This is really important to get everything set up. Okay, now as you see on my printer screen, the firmware is updated to my latest version, and now I'm going to start to connect to the plugged-in Wi-Fi module inside of the printer. I'm going to the Wi-Fi settings, and as I just found, it's the MKS Wi-Fi 4384 SSID, and I'm now going to connect to it. Sometimes it takes some time to connect, sometimes it goes really fast, depends on your Wi-Fi network, and if there are issues I will show you how to solve them too, but for now we're just starting the setup. So still connecting. Okay, now it's connected. As you see, nothing. Oh, my Wi-Fi turned off. Let's go again. Hit the connect button. Okay, it's connected. Now, first things first, you're going to need to open the command prompt of your Windows computer, because we need to find out what IP address is behind this Wi-Fi module. So you go to the command prompt, type in ipconfig, and when you're done, you see the standard gateway for the MKS module is 192.168.4.1, and this IP address you need to write down in your browser. Okay, when you reached it, you will find a green site. Oh wait, my screen just jumped away. Now we are back. So when you enter the IP address, you see that you have a greenish site where we need to update the Wi-Fi firmware to the both files you previously downloaded. And we start by updating the Wi-Fi firmware. I'm going to select data, looking for the mks-wifi.bin, put it inside, then I check if I'm connected. No, I'm not, so I have to connect it again. Sometimes kind of weird because sometimes it loses the connection because it's not set up. So I repeat it and we do it again. Okay, it's connected. And now I hit the update button. You see it's working on the browser on the left corner. After it's finished, it should say update successfully. Okay, update was successfully. Still connected to it, but now, before I head to the next step, I'm going to my Wi-Fi settings, Wi-Fi networks, and known Wi-Fi networks, and I'm going to delete the known Wi-Fi network of the MKS Wi-Fi, just in case, to have it sure after I reboot the printer it connects again properly. Okay, it's deleted, I can close it, and now I'm gonna reboot the printer. As you see already, my display shows no SSID. Okay, the printer is rebooted. Now we take a look again. So, as you see on the screen, the printer already tries to connect to something, but he can't. So I'm now going to connect again to the printer. Okay, now it's the new client, as you see on the screen, and I'm going to enter the same IP address again, and I'm in this UI. But this is normally not the UI you go inside. First you are going to start with a special site. Let me reset it for you. And I close everything. So normally you get to this site after you flashed the Wi-Fi.bin, the MKS Wi-Fi.bin, and now we are going to flash the E3D Web UI. So you go to Choose Data, you head for the ESP 3D Web UI 2.1, open it, and you upload the index.html.gz. You hit upload. It goes pretty fast, so no worries. After it's done, you hit the button and go to the ESP 3D interface. So, and when you the first time on this site, you are going to need to enter a setup. I changed my language to German. And now we need to set up the printer and everything that's needed. So I set up the firmware that's running on it to Marlin, the baud rate. When you set it, you see it's greenish, so pick it, set it up. These values you see right now on the screen is my own baud rate I set up for the printer. Holden Wi-Fi, Marlin, and I set it. After it's set, I hit the next button, and then I have to change the Wi-Fi mode of the module to station. And when it's done to station, I need to look for my local network at home. So it's scanning, and as you see, it found my Wi-Fi network. It's the Fritzbox. Hit the connect button, hit the set button, and then I have to enter my Wi-Fi key. After I've done all the settings, I hit next, I hit close, and now I'm going to reboot the printer again. So, as you see, the printer is now booting. I will make this window a little bit smaller so you can see more. And if you recognized it, the IP address shown on the display is now really different. Yeah, because now the printer is connected to my Wi-Fi network, and this is where I'm going to connect my computer back again. And with this IP address shown on the display, I'm going back to the ESP 3D Web UI 192.168.108.106, 108, enter. Yeah, I know my screen changed again. So we're back, as you see, connected to the IP address. It's the same as on the printer. And now I can set up some things here, because now you see I can check the temperature of the hot end. It's now 21.82 degrees C, same on the display. But there is no hot bed, so I need to set it up, and I'm going to the settings. And I can tell him to show the heating bed. And I save it, and now I have both. Now I can hit here a temperature, press OK. As you see, it sends a command to the printer, and you see the bed is heating. You see on the top the target temp, and on the bottom the actual temperature. It's rising. And same we will do just for test to the nozzle to 150 degrees. It instantly heats up, it works. Same, you can just turn it off, it goes back to 0, turn it off, it goes back to 0. So the pretty neat thing about this, you can enter commands like G28 for homing. And my printer now starts homing. You can't see it, but it's there. And same to all other things. And as you see, now it's done. And yeah, you also can use the web UI to upload files. But the important thing is, it takes a lot of time. When you hit the refresh button here, it will refresh to all files that currently on your SD card. And you can start printing directly from your SD card by pressing the print button. When you want to upload a file, there is one really important thing about it. You slice your file in Cura, and then you have to rename it to a really short name. Like here on the right side of the window, you see I made a data called test.gco. This is the language the web UI understands. So when I hit the upload button, I'm looking for this test file, test.gco, and I upload it. Because of the Wi-Fi is writing directly to the SD card, it takes some time. The file I'm just uploading is around 500 kilobytes large. You see it's proceeded now to 23%, and on the display of the printer you can see that's the file it's just uploading. I won't recommend to upload files because when it loses the connection you have to start over. I think it's the best option to just upload small files with this feature. But the other thing is you can just plug in the SD card and copy it directly to the printer. The biggest use case for this Wi-Fi setup is that you have full control of your printer. It's the same like on Pronterface, you maybe recognized it, but you don't need any USB connection to your printer anymore. You can do all of this over Wi-Fi, including commands for auto-tune, PID tuning for the nozzle, for the bed. You can read out the values, and you can also do the bed leveling and see all numbers here, all differences between each leveled point. After it uploaded, because you can only do one thing at a time, I will show you how it looks like when you run the PID for the nozzle, just to show it to you. In this case, you go to Google and say Marlin Auto Tune PID. And here, for example, is the example for Auto-Tune the hot end with 210 degrees C with 8 cycles. I copy this command, go back to my printer, paste it here, but I don't want to have a target temp of 200 degree, so I switch it to 210 degrees, so I switch it to 200. And E0 is the nozzle, and E1, E-1 is the hot bed. Same command to start the PID, but there are different commands to store the PID settings. But you also have the possibility in my firmware, when you hit the configuration button and you hit the custom commands, that there is already a setup for PID, and these values that are get it out of this PID feature inside my firmware will be shown here on the Wi-Fi screen. And this is needed when you are going to save the settings for PID in your printer. So as you see, the file that I'm uploading is at 74%. Here just to show you, it has 495 kilobytes. It takes pretty long, so again, I won't recommend it. Just copy the files to the SD, and then you can do anything else over the menu of the ESP web UI. And again, when you need any help or support, or you want to get information about my actual firmware, just feel free to contact me on Facebook. I will help you as much as I can, and will support you in my closed Facebook chat group with all my supporters, all the people that already running my firmware without any issues, and it makes me proud to have such a community working with me and sending me bug reports so I can fix them normally within 24 hours and release the next version update. Okay, we're now at 94% of the uploaded file. 97. 100%. Now it's going to store it. Takes some seconds. It also could be that it sometimes doesn't refresh this site and it's still at 100%, so you just reload the website. Now when I hit the button, there is my test file I just uploaded. And for the command window, I will show it to you right now. I changed the command to PID tune the nozzle with 8 cycles to 200 degree, and I start send. And as you see on the display of the printer, it starts heating without a target temperature. Make it a little bit bigger for you so you can see it better. Once it reached the target temperature of 200 degree, it will start to cycle. You will see the cycles on the display of the printer. So now it's heated. Now it cools down back to 200 degrees, and now it starts the cycles. So it's now at cycle number 2. And cycle number 3. Meanwhile, I'm going to show you the save command, how to set the hot end. It's the code M301. So I already copied it here. And you need to set the values of D, I and P. So I copy them too, paste it, and I remove what it's not needed. So now it's at cycle 6, as you see. And when it's done, it will show the best value to choose to have the heating of the nozzle PID in the best case. So now it's done, and you see the default values that should be used. It's K, KP, KI, KD. So on the D you put the D value 67.26. Now again it jumped to my screen. And then you take for the I value, and for the P value. And you send it. Now it's set up. And now we hit M500 to store all settings. And this is all you need to do. This is all you can do with this web UI. You can check positions, you can home, you can adjust everything, and you can go through all commands to set it up. This was a small video, about around 25 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button on the video, and when you need any help or support, feel free to contact me. I'm really sorry about the Be Right Back screen, because it's a shortcut on my keyboard, so That's why it appears. And on the next video I will think about to delete it, so it won't happen anymore. But for now, I'm done. Thanks for watching, guys.